Welcome to the Healthy Lifestyle Show podcast. Our podcast is all about eating healthy, being active, and living a healthy lifestyle. We believe living healthy should be easy. That's why we have a free ebook at healthylifestyleformula.com, which can help you start your healthy lifestyle journey in easy-to-follow steps. Let's jump into this week's podcast topic and welcome our guest.
Well, welcome back, Jay. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you. And sounds like you're not keeping well.
I've been under the weather, but got some medicine and I'll get better eventually.
That's good. I know it's season and, seasonal changes brings all kind of issues.
Yep.
Viruses, flu, everything, So just take care of yourself.
I will. Thank you.
Okay, so I just wanted to remind you, I know when you're down, you start forgetting things.
Yes.
And we were talking about the paleo foods.
Yep, we sure were.
And I wanted to say hello to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And today, my plan was to talk about how to restock your kitchen.
Okay.
I was initially thinking of more doing I would just still cover some of those things like herbs, seasoning, flavors. But it's, maybe I'll just touch on that. But I think the bigger concept is how to restock your kitchen for the paleo friendly foods. I think that would cover everything.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. So I think if we go back to some of the red light foods, I'm not going to repeat any of those here, but anybody can go and check it out in the podcast.
Yeah.
But what's important here is that there are some major categories.
Yeah.
And if you focus on those major categories, like 80-20 principle, focus on that 20% which makes the 80% difference to make a good beginning. Mm-hmm. And the big one over there, so maybe the first one I should say for those who love bread.
Yeah.
No grains, no wheat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's check it out in your kitchen. And if you see any product related to wheat, basically it's time for some action. Either you consume it before you start your paleo diet exercise, or you basically give it to your loved ones or somebody else, your neighbor or somebody, whosoever. I'm sure somebody's going to say thanks to you when that happens.
Yeah.
You make your kitchen gluten-free.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
So check it out and say, hey, okay, I'm storing this. Okay, this is not related to any type of grains. Okay, that's fine. I can keep it, That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
But your primary focus should be no grain.
Yeah.
No commercial grain in your kitchen.
Okay.
And focus more on the wheat in the beginning so that makes life much easier after that.
Yeah.
Now, the another one I would say, if you remember, I said, even though I said no grain, but rice is also another grain. These are the two major staples.
Yes, they are.
Rice and wheat. So when you're doing this exercise, please do focus on rice at the same time. And I want to emphasize on that because in many homes, when you go and check it out, their kitchen, you'll find these two ingredients most of the time.
Yeah.
But as part of the paleo diet, guess what? Either you're going to consume it and not buy any more, or you're going to give it to somebody. Once again, the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's the same exercise once again. So make your kitchen wheat and rice free. How does that sound?
Sounds challenging, but
yes.
doable.
It's a doable thing, Just think, hey, those two things don't exist anymore. Now, as if they are not enough challenges, I'm going to say, make your kitchen legumes free. So any bean, if you love kidney beans.
Yeah.
Hey, I know many people store those cans all over the place in their kitchen. Say, hey, I need to take this when I need it. And again, make your kitchen free.
Yeah.
from any of those legumes.
Yeah.
This is, I think many people try reducing the salt and the processed sugar.
Yes.
So this is not a difficult one for many people, I would say, because you're already trying.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the salt, so any kind of processed salt, your goal is you need to take it out.
Yeah.
And replace that with rock salt.
Yeah.
Or in some countries it's called Himalayan rock salt.
Yeah.
And some places, well, there are different names, so you just have to see depending on your location.
Yeah. So basically anything that's not iodized.
No, it's not that alone. It's the natural form of salt.
Okay.
So the rock salt is basically, nature is forming that.
Yeah.
So that's okay for you.
Yeah.
The theory of the paleo diet is that when you take fish, when you take any of those animal meat and all that, or, any of those kind of fresh fruits or fresh vegetables, there is enough salt being given to us by the nature already.
Yeah.
So we don't have to, but we are so used to salt that the experts came up with this recommendation that as long as you use the natural salt, you are fine.
Okay.
So we're just making things easier now. I say, okay, replace it with the natural form of the salt, and I say rock salt is the best one.
Yeah.
Or somebody goes, hey, it's the unprocessed sea salt is fine because it's not processed.
Yeah.
The problem lies in processing, because when you start processing, you start introducing those kind of artificial ingredients or, all those processes, chemicals, and all of that. That's what you need to avoid.
Yeah. Okay.
The same applies for sugar. So avoid any kind of processed sugar.
Yeah.
So you just go and check, hey, I have the processed sugar lying here, lying there, okay, I need to take it out, replace it. So you might be saying, hey, what are the options? You have plenty of options. You can use natural honey, maple syrup. We in Canada love it, right?
Yeah.
So we can use maple syrup. Molasses, is it called molasses? Yes, cane. You can use cane sugar, which is not processed.
Okay.
So, there's so many options you have. Your just focus is keeping it natural. That's the only major criteria over there.
Yeah.
Now, I think I've been talking about not using any kind of artificial things. So no artificial flavors.
Yeah.
No artificial food colors and those kind of things.
Yeah.
No artificial ingredients and all that. Just stay away from all of that, because our body is not really designed to deal with those kind of things. That's the theory of paleo diet. The other one I would say, and I think this is kind of big one for some because of our lifestyle.
Yeah.
That processed foods we store in our refrigerator.
Yeah.
There's hardly any space left after that.
Yeah.
And you can still store this stuff. So you can store raw, I would say, veggies, fruits, and all that.
Yeah.
Frozen and all that. That's fine. But no processed food should be there in your kitchen. And again, the principle is like, because of a modern lifestyle, sometimes it's not easy for us to buy the fresh food all the time.
Yeah.
So it's okay to still process. I shouldn't say word the process, I should say still freeze.
Yeah.
The vegetables and fruits and store it, or go to the market and buy the frozen ones. That's fine. Dairy items. Now, those who have the milk intolerance, they love it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not going to keep any kind of dairy items now.
Yeah.
But those who love milk and all that, they say, oh, I can't survive without that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the alternatives. So I'm going to talk about the alternatives later.
Yeah.
But, the first goal is anything related to milk.
Yeah.
You need to take it out. So, that's easy because, hey, if, you can easily find it out. It's milk, yogurt, those kind of things. You just have to remove it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, so those are the major categories. I think that basically, if you just focus on this, these steps, then you're going to virtually be ready to start your journey with the paleo diet system.
Yeah.
Now, talking about the herbs, spices, seasoning and all that.
Yeah.
The good news is majority of everything what's out there in the market is okay.
Excellent.
The only, again, criteria for anybody is to check that is it, like if you look at the spices and all that, it's okay, it's not processed, it's mixed.
Yeah.
They take powder from this, powder from this, powder from this, mix it and then sell it.
Yeah.
So that's all fine. If there is anything specific where there's processing involved, you just have to keep an eye on those kind of things.
Yeah.
There are natural flavors available in the market, all natural. You can go for those rather than going for the artificial ones. So that's really a massive change here.
Yes.
Now, paleo diet encourages everybody to use fresh herbs if that's possible.
Yeah.
It's not possible every time. The only thing is when you're using fresh herbs, you have to add those at the end of your cooking.
Yeah.
So you don't lose the real power of that herb when you're doing cooking. But if you're using dried herbs, then you can use it at the start of the cooking so that it gets properly cooked and all the flavors, the benefits come out of that.
Okay.
That's the only major difference, I would say. Now let me address the wheat flour.
Yeah.
Because many people say, how I am going to cook my pizza? Well, not everybody does, but those who do, they say, you're gonna make it so difficult for me to even try this kind of. Yeah. The good news is there are replacements for everything.
Yeah.
So instead of taking the wheat flour, you can take what is called arrowroot.
Yeah, arrowroot.
Arrowroot and tapioca flour, almond flour.
Yeah.
All of these are the replacements.
Okay.
So what some people everybody has to go and check it out. Some of those cookbooks.
Yeah.
I know there are great chefs who have written great good cookbooks.
Yeah.
They have come up with a mechanism to match the similar kind of pizza without any type of wheat flour.
Yeah.
Those are paleo cookbooks.
Yeah.
So what they do, they mix a little bit of, I don't know the proportions and all that, little bit of almond flour, tapioca and arrowroot, and then they combine and they say, hey, here is what I'm doing is I'm making pizza. Yeah. And comes out great. That's what people say.
Yeah.
Excellent. So the options are there all the time.
Yeah.
When it comes to milk, that's another major category. People say, hey, I'm going to miss that.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to miss that because you can take now soya milk.
Yeah.
Or, well, again, the problem with the soya is, so I would say avoid soya if possible. Yeah. Because it could be a commercial crop, I think. Yeah, it's going to be a commercial. Is. Yeah. So I think I have to say, no, don't use that. Yeah. Rather than doing that, you can use coconut milk. Yeah. Which is absolutely safe for you. Now, you can also create some of those sauces at home. So rather than using any of those ones where the MSG has been added, this preservative has been added, or this artificial ingredient has been added, you can still prepare all of that at home without any of that. Yeah. And be ready to add to your stir fries or to your whatever dish you're making. Yeah. to make your paleo food interesting.
Yeah.
The other one I would say, this is kind of interesting. I find rather than using rice,
Yeah.
in some Chinese recipes,
Yeah.
or maybe their cuisine, they use cauliflower as kind of cauli rice, it's called.
Yeah. They I know someone that does that. They rice the cauliflower and they use that as a substitute for stir fries or a side
Right.
dish or whatever.
Right. So, I mean, those options are there.
Yeah.
Now, you rather than using some of that butter,
Mm-hmm.
you could use, you could use the vegetable butter
Yeah.
and those kind of, because shouldn't be a milk product,
Yeah.
Hey, use eggs. I mean, eggs alone is such a great addition for anything
Yeah.
that you can have wonderful dishes done anytime with variety of options.
Yeah.
And you can always use meat
Mm-hmm.
for creating soups, stews, stir fries, main dishes, you name it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much possible with that.
Yeah.
Now, I got here an interesting one.
Okay.
And this basically brings a smile to most of the people. Well, before I go to that, maybe let me talk about the cooking oil.
Okay.
Now, again, the principle is same. No more processed cooking oil.
Yeah.
So easily you can settle down for olive oil, avocado oil, all those kind of oils where processing is not involved.
Yeah.
And the good news is now, because paleo foods or paleo diet has become so popular, that many brands have introduced products designed for paleo guys.
Oh, excellent.
If you go and check it out in the grocery shop, maybe you may have to go to a bigger shop or bigger store. You'll find many items nowadays which are designed for paleo people. So life is much easier now to adopt the paleo diet system, just so you know. Now let me maybe end this podcast with that interesting one.
Yes.
You can use cocoa powder so you can create chocolate. Well, even the chocolates are available nowadays, which are paleo chocolates, just so you know. And you can do any kind of baking, if you love anything. Hey, even you can make ice cream without using milk.
Yeah.
And with all these, replacements, you can do anything. I mean, I was told by a chef once, I was trying in the restaurant, and I said, hey, I am looking for some paleo options.
Yeah.
He says, anything you want can be done nowadays.
Wow.
And I said, wow, that's good news.
That is.
And he said that the only thing we would do when you say, I am looking for a paleo option, that I'll replace all those things with those ingredients which are paleo friendly.
Yeah.
So it's as simple as that. And I think that's an exciting news for those who want to try paleo nowadays. Absolutely. I had a friend, just so you know, I mean, like, we were out in one of the smaller towns during our trip. Mm-hmm. And we sat down in the restaurant, and he said that, hey, you know what? I'm a hardcore paleo guy. And I said, that's good for you. Yeah. And I said, you do lots of traveling. Yeah. How do you even survive in these small towns? He says, just wait and watch. Yeah. And he called the waiter. Yep. And says, I'm a paleo guy. Give me the options what I can have. Yeah. That waiter gave so many options. I felt like, this guy is luckier than me because he has more options. Yeah. And he got a special attention over there. Yeah. Even chef came out and he said, sir, this is what I'm going to do for you. Yeah. Is it okay? Yeah. For me, it was normal, like, what everybody else is eating. Yeah. And, it was good for me to watch everything the way it was going on. Yeah. And I felt, oh my God, the life is so easy. It doesn't matter what you want to do. You just have to say it, share it, and tell the guy that this is what I can eat, this is what I can't eat. Yeah. And people are out there who are going to help you out
Yeah.
to succeed in whatever you're trying.
Yes.
So my suggestion to all the friends out there,
Yep.
please don't think it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
When you take some of those baby steps,
Yeah.
things would be much easier for you. Believe in me, try it, then only you'll feel it. And in the process, hey, you'll have lots of fun.
Yeah.
You'll have some funny events, funny incidents. Hey, share, have fun.
Yeah.
And enjoy this whole process. Because at the end, it's all about your health. Invest in your health.
Yes.
And with that, I want to say, I think maybe next week, I haven't even thought about what I'm going to share.
Okay.
So maybe we'll give a surprise next week.
Sure.
How about...
I like surprises.
Yeah, how about maybe, I'm just thinking as I'm talking.
Yep.
How about meal planning? Kind of like we've been talking smaller things.
Yeah.
How about making it bigger and meal planning for the paleo foods next week?
Sure. That sounds good.
Okay? With that, I want to say thank you. Bye-bye.
Right. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you again next time. If you want to start your healthy lifestyle journey, don't forget to get your free ebook at healthylifestyleformula.com to start your healthy lifestyle journey in easy to follow steps. This podcast is brought to you by healthylifestylepodcast.com.